Frank Reynolds pulled his old truck up to the county courthouse, gripping the wheel a moment before stepping out. At 49, the rancher carried the weight of years in the sun, his calloused hands and silvered hair testifying to a life of labor and quiet resilience. Beside him, his 10-year-old son Bobby tugged at his stiff shirt collar. "Do we have to stay long, Pa? I wanted to see Rusty's pups," Bobby muttered. "Not too long," Frank promised, though the truth was he didn't know. Sheriff Dan Hollister had asked him to come without explaining why. Inside courtroom B, the sheriff stood with Judge Wilson, a severe woman named Mrs. Palmer, and a young girl near the window. When she turned, Frank saw she couldn't be more than 18. Her eyes were steady but full of quiet fear. Mrs. Palmer's words were sharp. "Since my husband died, keeping Rebecca is an impossible burden. I've arranged for her to work in the Wilcox household in exchange for a fee." Sheriff Hollister's jaw tightened. Thaddeus Wilcox has already buried 2 young wives. That house is no place for her. Judge Wilson raised a hand. "That's why I asked Mr. Reynolds here. Rebecca needs a safe home until she can stand on her own. Perhaps as housekeeper at your ranch, Frank." Frank studied the girl. She didn't beg, but her dignity spoke louder than words. He nodded. "I can offer her the foreman's cabin, room and board, and fair wages. Sundays free. She may leave when she chooses." Mrs. Palmer demanded $300 as a placement fee. Frank wrote the check, though it cost him dearly. She left without a glance at the girl she had raised. On the drive back, Bobby leaned forward. "Do you like dogs, Miss Rebecca?" She smiled softly. "Very much." By the time Whispering Pines Ranch came into view, Rebecca's eyes brightened. "It's beautiful. It's home," Frank replied. In the weeks that followed, Rebecca's presence transformed the ranch. The house shone, meals tasted like family again, and Bobby laughed the way he hadn't since his mother's death. Frank noticed her kindness, her intelligence, and the way her laughter filled empty spaces. On her 18th birthday, he and Bobby gave her a small silver bracelet with a house charm. Her tears said more than words. That summer, Rebecca shared her dream of teaching. When she was accepted to college in Austin, Frank promised support. "This will always be your home," he told her. 2 years later, she returned, grown, confident, with a teaching position nearby. One evening beneath the Texas stars, she spoke plainly. "I'm not that frightened girl anymore. I know my heart. What matters is the life we build together, if you want the same." Frank took her hand. "I've loved you since the day I heard you laugh with Bobby. I just never thought I could love again." They married the next spring in the garden Martha once planted, Judge Wilson officiating, Bobby proudly at Frank's side. Seasons passed. Work, love, laughter, loss. Rebecca taught at the school, Frank grew the ranch, Bobby built a family of his own. And on quiet nights, Frank and Rebecca sat on the porch steps under the endless Texas sky. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out this way?" she sometimes asked. "I didn't know what would happen," Frank would answer. "I just knew it was the right thing to do. The rest was grace."